Good morning, students. In this lesson, further we are going to see how the animal kingdom is classified into two groups based on the presence or absence of notochord. So, already we know what is notochord. Here, how they have classified. The first one is invertebrata, that is the without backbones, and the second one is chordata, that is prochordata and vertebrata with backbones. So, animals which do not possess notochord are called as invertebrates or non-chordates, and animals which possesses notochord or backbones are called as chordates. So look at this more to know. Notochord is a rod-like structure formed on the mid-dorsal side of the body during embryonic development. We know notochord is a rod-like structure which is developed during the embryonic stage on the mid back side of the body. So except some primitive forms in which the notochord persists throughout life, in all other animal it is replaced by a backbone. We know notochord will be replaced by a backbone when the animals grows in some particular animals. So we'll see the different phyla of invertebrata. Okay, the first one is phylum Porifera. So phylum Porifera is also called as spore bearers. So each and every phylum have some peculiar characters. So we'll see what are the phylums and each phylum contains what a peculiar character. So now we are going to see the phylum Porifera, that is the pore bearers. So these are multicellular. Okay, we know these are multicellular, that is they are fully made of cells. They are commonly called as sponges. So they are mostly marine. They are aquatic organisms. They mostly live in marine level organisms. So they possess cellular level of organism since their body is made up full of cells. So it is called as the cellular level of organization. That is they are not developing into tissues or any organ or organ system. The pores present are called as ostia. They are fully pores, and pores, the name of the pore is called as ostia. So the water enters through this and leads to a canal system. So this is the specific character of pore bearers. Their each pores are leading to a canal system through which the exchange of substances takes place. So such as the respiratory gases, and also they are intaking their nutrients and also eliminating their waste products through this canal system. Their body wall contains spicules. So spicules is nothing but these are formed of calcium and silica. Okay, so that they may get a skeletal look. Their outer covering will be looking like a skeletal appearances. They reproduce both asexually, also sexual methods. So example, Euplectella cycon. So look at this picture. This is the pore bearer. So we know here we can see the pores on their bodies since it is called as a pore bearers. So the second one is phylum Coelenterata. So pronounce the hard words. Okay, so second one is phylum Coelenterata. The phylum Coelenterata is also called as Cnidaria. So this is also an aquatic organisms. These are also mostly multicellular, but their cellular level of organizations are developing into tissue level of organization. Okay, so marine, they live in both marine and freshwater form. Some of the animals are living in the marine and some of them are living in the freshwater forms. The body wall is made up of only two germ layers, so it is called as diploblastic. Okay, we know diploblastic, when the cell is made up of only with the two germ layers, it is called as diploblastic. So there is a jelly like substance called mesoglia which is present in between those two layers, that is the ectoderm and endoderm. There will be another layer and that is called as mesoglia, a jelly layer. The body wall is enclosed by gastrovascular cavity and that is called as coelentron. This is the specific character of this phylum. Okay, they have a gastrovascular cavity. Okay, through which their exchange of gases or the food intake is taken place. So here the mouth is surrounded by tentacles. So tentacles are also called as the sense organ. Okay, so the tentacle bears stinging cells called nidoblast or nematocyst. So look at this picture. We have seen some hanging ones and that is called as tentacles, stinging cells. Okay, and those are called as stinging cells. The stinging cells are used for catching their food. Okay, they catching their food or make them to attach themselves to other organisms. So the role of stinging cells are catching their own food or make them to attach with another organisms. So many coelentrates exhibit polymorphism. So polymorphism means they can they can reshape themselves. Okay, either they can reshape as a tube or as free swimming stages. So they reproduce both asexually also sexually. Example, hydra which lives in a fresh water and jellyfish which is living in a marine organisms. Then the phylum Platyhelminthes. So phylum Platyhelminthes is also coming under the flatworms. Okay, under this phylum we will be studying about the flatworms. So they are bilaterally symmetrical. So what is meant by bilaterally symmetrical? So if we cut it with the same plane, we'll get two identical halves, and that is called as bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic and acoelomate. Acoelomate means they don't have any body cavity. Okay. Then most of them are parasitic in nature. So what is meant by parasitic? The animals which lives in on or other organisms to get their food or shelter. Okay, so that is called as parasitic in nature. So they contain suckers and hooks, help the animals to get their nutrition from an organism. So suckers and hooks are helping the flatworms to get their nutrition through sucking. Okay, they have a specialized cells called the flame cells which is used for excrete themselves, excrete their waste products. So these worms are hermaphrodites. So what is meant by hermaphrodites? The worms which has both sexes, the male and female sex, is called as hermaphrodites. They has the ability to have act as both male and female reproductive organs, that is the sex organs. Example, liver fluke or tapeworm. So these are the examples of phylum Platyhelminthes. Then the next phylum is phylum Aschelminthes. So these in this phylum we'll study about the roundworms. Okay, here the phylum roundworms means which have a cylindrical bodies. They are also parasitic and free living worms. They belongs to organ system level. So they are bilaterally symmetrical. Likewise, when we cut in with the same plane, we will get two identical parts. And triploblastic which have a 3 germ layers and also have pseudocoelom. Pseudocoelom means they are having a false body cavity. So they are unsegmented. Their body does not have any segments. They don't have any lines, and also they are covered by a cuticle. Cuticle is the outer covering. Okay, they have a thin cuticle. So look at this picture. They have a plain body and they don't have any segments here, and also they have a thinnest outer coverings. Okay, they have a separate sexes. Look at this picture. They have male and female separate sexes. So these are also causing disease to the human beings. What are the diseases? That is elephantiasis and ascariasis. So elephantiasis means, have you seen a person with a large legs? Their tissues are swelling. The enlargement and hardening of limbs, their legs, due to the tissue swelling, that is called as elephantiasis. So ascariasis, these worms are also may cause infection in our small intestine. Okay, example Ascaris and Wuchereria. Then the phylum Annelida. So phylum Annelida is commonly known as the segmented or ringed worms. Okay. So they are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomated. They have a true coelom. Okay, true coelomated animals. They have a well developed organ system level. Okay. Then the outer structure, we can see the lined segments, and that is lines are called as metamers. Look at this picture. In their body we could see some lines, and those lines are called as metamers. So each metamers are joined by a ring like structure throughout their body, and that is called as annuli. It is covered by a moist thin cuticle. Their outer covering will be little moisture. Okay. Setae and parapodia are locomotor organs. So setae means they have a stiffest hair on their bodies, and they are also having the unjoined legs. Okay, unjoined hairs act as a locomotor organ which help them to move from one place to another places. So they have a separate sexes, or some of them will be a hermaphrodites. What is meant by hermaphrodites? Which having both sexes are called as hermaphrodites. Example, earthworm and leech. Then the phylum Arthropoda. So phylum Arthropoda is simply called as the animals with joined legs. So which means it is the largest phylum of animal kingdom. So which is the largest division of animal kingdom? Kingdom Animalia. So which is the largest phylum of animal kingdom? The phylum Arthropoda. So they are bilaterally symmetrical and triploplastic, also coelomate. They have a true coelom in their body cavity. So they have a well developed organ system. Their body have a well developed organ system, and their body is divided into head, the mid portion, also the abdomen. So each segment has some joined legs. So look at this picture. So each segment, look at each line, their body is segmented, and in each segment we can see some pairs of legs, a paired legs each side. So the outer cover is made up of chitin. Okay, chitin is a kind of protein. It is when it is shed off, when they peel off their skins and grows and regrows. Okay, they can peel off their skins and that may regrows, and that process is called as molting. Okay, molting. So the body cavity is filled with hemolymph, which is filled with the blood. Hemolymph is nothing but a blood. So they don't have a proper blood vessels for flow, the circulation. So it is called as open circulatory system. They respirate through gills and trachea. So excretion occurs through Malpighian tube, through some tubular excretory organs. Okay, and also the green glands. So it is a pair of excretory organ which is placed on either side of their head. Okay, that is called as the green glands. So they have a separate sexes. So example, prawn, crab, cockroach, millipede. This one is millipede, and this one is the centipede, spider and scorpions. So look at this picture. Do you know centipede means 100 legs, but most species have only 30 pairs. Millipedes have 2 pairs of legs on each segment. This name means thousands leg, but most millipedes have only about 100. Then the next one is phylum Mollusca. So it is the largest group. It consists of large group of animals. In this phylum we will study about the large group of animals. So they are living in marine, freshwater also, and also in terrestrials. So they are bilaterally symmetrical, they have a softest body structure, and also they don't have any segments on their bodies. So the body is divided by head, they have a muscular foot, and the internal organs are carried out by their shells here. Their internal organs are carried out their shells, which hold a bulk digestive system, reproductive system, excretory system, respiratory system in the shell. Okay, they locomote through their muscular foot. The outer body wall is called as the mantle. Okay, this one is called as the mantle, and it is made up of calcium. The shell is called as calcareous shell. Okay, the shell is called as calcareous shell. So the calcareous shell means it is made up of, which contains the calcium. Their respiration takes through the gills, lungs, or sometimes they may respirate through both. They have a separate sexes. They shows larval stage during the development. The sexes are separate, and we can identify it in the larval stages during their development. So example, the garden snail and octopus. So do you know octopus is the only invertebrate which is the capable of emotion, empathy, cognitive function, self-awareness, personality, and even relationship with humans. These are the highly specialized characteristics of octopus. Some speculate that without humans, octopus would eventually take our place as the dominant life form on earth. So after man, octopus are having the huge responsibilities on the earth to make their lives. Then phylum Echinodermata. So Echinodermata is a spiny-skinned animals. Spiny-skinned animals. So spiny-skinned in the sense they have a sharp points like needles. So look at this picture, starfish. We can find a sharp edges, right? So that is called as the spiny-skinned animals. So they are marine animals. They are triploblastic, they have a true coelom and they have a well developed organ system. Here the adult animals are radially symmetrical but the larval are bilaterally symmetrical. So already we saw as an example as a radial symmetrical of starfish, right? So when it becomes an adult it will be a radially symmetrical but the larval stage will be bilaterally symmetrical. The special character is they have a fluid filled vascular system. Okay, they locomote through tube feet. See, look at their body. They have some tube like structures in their body through which they locomote. That means they will move from one place to another place. They have a body wall covered with the hardest calcareous oscils. So they are also made up of some calciums. Okay, example starfish, sea urchin. Then the phylum Hemichordata. So the phylum Hemichordata is also a marine organisms. They have a soft worm-like structure. They don't have any segments on their body. They are bilaterally symmetrical. They are coelomate. They have a characteristics of chordate, also a non-chordate, but they don't have a notochord. They have a gills for their respiration. It has a ciliary feeders. Ciliary feeders means it collects food particle outside the digestive tract through that ciliary feeders. So they live in tuberculous forms. Tuberculous forms means they live in the tubes. Okay, and that is called as tuberculous forms. Example, Balanoglossus, acorn worms. This is the Balanoglossus. Thank you, children.